is our patent. What this means is that we collect much richer data. We can bring devices onto our platform and then go back and control them. And in the utility space, it puts power in the hands of the utility, whether it be the water authority or the municipality, where they are not tied into one meter manufacturer because of the platform that they want to use, and they can use that very same platform for remote water monitoring, for example, for adding pressure sensors in the grid, for managing street lights and down the street lights as well. We're technology agnostic, so we can operate over any radio protocol or any telecommunications backhaul. So on radio protocol, we currently operate across most of them: Sigfox, LoRa, Narrowband IoT, Wi-Fi, Zigbee are examples of that. And in terms of telecommunications backhaul, we can operate over 3G, 4G, 5G, Ethernet. And what that means is that our customer doesn't have to take a technology bet, and that our customer is essentially future proofed. As I said earlier on, we have device-to-device communication and device-to-cloud communication and device-to-edge communication, and that means that customer has a high level of flexibility, and we tend to win the cost battle because we can scale up very, very cheaply, and we can operate centrally in the cloud or at the edge of the cloud, and that has the effect of lowering our customers' cost structures. Now, I've just got a message here saying, can I share the PowerPoint presentation? Are you all seeing screen share?
Yeah, sorry, Mohan, that was me. It's Elisa. I just came in late to the meeting and I was just hoping that you could share it with us, so when we send out the information, we could send that as a pack to the group. Sure. Is that okay? Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
And Sushant will take care of that, please. That would be great. Just for it as well. In terms of what we do, so you get a different tone, I'll hand over to Keith to take you through what we're doing, very practical.
Thanks, Mohan. So just you guys are mainly focused on water, so most of this is about what we do in water, particularly in South Korea, where we've got more than 100,000 meters under our control. As Mohan said, that's across 26 municipalities. What we do is we allow them to remotely monitor their water meters and to go back and control the digital water meters where they've got those deployed, and that allows them to provide additional services to their end customers by not visiting them, and also having much better data quality as well. We provide them with certain data analytics about their different regions in the cities or counties, and we also provide them a leak detection and similar, and we interface into their billing systems. An example of the kind of add-on values that we have in Korea is they have a database of the elderly and disabled people, and if the system detects that they are not using water to a certain pattern, then it will trigger an alert, and they will the water department will call the house and make sure that those people are good. And if they don't get an answer to the phone call, then the police go around and make sure that there are that the person is okay. And over the last 5 years, we've had about 200 instances in Korea where we've managed to help people who have had some problems. So we're working across 26 municipalities, and they use the system for a variety of functions, including leak detection and billing, and also comparisons amongst their different regions. We also do as Mohan mentioned, we've got 150,000 gas bottles under monitoring in Japan. Now, gas monitoring is very similar to water monitoring, so we've just brought this here just to show you that we can do multiple different kinds of devices and provide the same kind of abilities to the gas companies as well as to the water companies. As Mohan also mentioned, we can take different kinds of products onto our platform. So we also have connectivity for electric vehicle chargers and solar controls and batteries, and we control air conditioners and things like that. So this is an opportunity where the Water Board has a electricity powered devices. You might have deployed solar on the roofs of your substations and so on. So there's an ability to use the same platform to manage all of your resources. Just in terms of the way that the overall technology is working. So this is a drawing that shows the end-to-end system. On the left are your typical sensors, water meters, valves, and the like. And then on the right is the cloud platform and the interfaces to your other systems. One of the unique features in our X2M platform is this element called the FME in the middle. And this is a micro engine which allows us to run different programs and interface to different devices. And that micro engine can be anywhere from the left-hand side close to where the devices are, all the way up to in the cloud. And that allows you to have different topologies, different connections and methods and so on, but have the same central interface and the same view of everything. An example of where the FME might be useful for a water board is perhaps in a substation where there might be some a number of devices where you would want them to be making local decisions based on what they're measuring around there. We do that in Taiwan, where there might be a fire alarm, it might be a pressure sensor, there might be some flow meters, and they all communicate with each other, and then they can make local decisions even if you're not connected to the cloud. That's also important if there are any communications major failures in Telstra or Optus, that those systems continue to operate even if they can't get back to the cloud. I'll pass back to Anna.
Thanks, Keith. So X2M is a company that is customer centric, and we tend to adjust our business models to suit our customers. And there's effectively two bookends. At the one end, it's what we call a high touch model. It's one where we provide a managed service and help you with end-to-end management of, say, remote water meter monitoring, if you like, or leak detection monitoring through the grid. At the other end, you've got the option to take the platform and we license it to you, and then you devise whatever applications you might want to have. And we've got customers that sit across both, regardless of which model. There's a team that sits underneath it that provides customer support and customer care. One of the bits of data that we're incredibly proud of is the amount of repeat business that we get from our customers. As you would know better than anyone, municipalities, utilities, water authorities are inherently cautious and careful for good reason, and conservative. And a good metric, important metric for us, is how many of our customers are giving us repeat orders, and well more than half our business comes from our existing customer base, who have, who started the journey with us, some of them many years ago, and with more trials and proof of concepts, and now we're just part of their replacement cycle, digitizing entire communities. So how can we perhaps help you? We are very keen to see our platform deployed in Australia. And it's great to break into foreign markets, but at the end of the day, we're Australian made, and we're keen to see this technology deployed over here. And we're very happy to work with organisations that are part of your group to give them access to our platform. We've spent over $50 million building the platform. We've done this with a number of municipalities in South Korea. We have installed our platform, we've installed the servers, and then enable and empower the water authority to actually run their own business. So, and as an outcome from this, we'd love to work with a cross section of yourselves, as you see appropriate, to build a offering and a business application that might well work for you. As I said, it's a platform that has had well in excess of $50 million spent on it. It has over 250,000 households already on it. It's growing exponentially and working very well. And it's a really simple way for water authorities to get access to the next generation of this technology.
So Mohan, I'll just go into a demo now, and
from here, what we'd like to do is to give you a demonstration of
it. So this is a connection into our an example of one of our systems. So this is a dashboard from in Korea. And what you see is the GIS information. So all of the 6,000 meters that are connected, I think there's 7,000 meters connected. They are grouped in geolocated areas. And we also provide a status, so you can see there's 7,000 meters communicating. You can see those that are indicating leaks, overloads, overuse, and so on. We also have a number of gadgets that can show you what the water curve looks like. This is for the whole of the network, but you can filter these to do different groups and compare them as well. And this shows you usage across the network on the last 3 days. The current usage, we collect data at the moment twice a day and every hour. So we're getting water meters readings every hour, and we transmit them every 12 hours. On the gadgets, you can zoom in, and so that was the 19 meters. You can see individual meter information, what the readings are, when they were last read, the customer IDs, and so on. These dashboards are able to be set up and edited by the individual users. So there are two different things. You can set up the number of the layout of the dashboards themselves, and you can also edit the gadgets. So you can add additional gadgets to your dashboard as you see fit. These are gadgets that are available. So there's a whole range of different gadgets available with pressure, temperature, and the like, depending on the devices, and various other water gadgets, so that they're available, so that each individual person or in the control room you can set up the display as you like. In the devices we have device groups. So for different areas in the municipality, you'd be able to set up suburbs and so on, and you can then report on those groups. We have multiple types of water meters. In this case, this is just the two water meter types in Korea, and the same thing for customers. So we can show customer information, and we have the ability to hide all of this information or blur it out depending on the customer's requirements. In Australia, we don't actually use this customer name and address, we use unique identifiers where that makes, where the company would prefer to manage that data themselves. We're able to see the parameters of the device, so that's the meter numbers, the type of water meter, what the readings are, what the RSSIs are, and so on. We're also able to see the readings of the meters, and you can zoom in and look at particular elements. We've got the ability to set notes. So here we have assignments when a meter is added, and so on. We also have commands to swap meters and so on. So if there's a meter swap, then it'll do the reading calculations so that you get 2 lines of billing and so on. So that's from the customer side of it. There are a large number of reports that we can run. So there's standard billing reports, battery reports, and pressure reports, and so on. So there's a wide range of those kind of reports. You can schedule reports to be run as well. In the user side, you can program different types of users. So we can set up what users have which capabilities, and you can see that there's a number of administrators, super administrators, and so on. Each of those roles can be configured with the permissions. So there's a huge range of permissions that you can give to people who can make changes to the system or just view information. We also have the settings that you would expect in a system like this. We have a range of billing formats that can be exported, and then we also have we can enable firmware versions, metering information, and so on across each of those devices, depending on their device types. There are a large number of notifications that can be sent out, so we can use email, SMS. We still have requirements for requests for fax, and you can enable those kind of alerts to go to your users on the alerts. We also have a number of thresholds, so you can set up for your alerts and whether you have leak detection or not, temperature alerts, various pressure thresholds, and so on. So those are all allow you to set up the alerts, and we have a change log so you can see whether people have been modifying the settings. So we've got the audit history. So that's just a brief summary of what's available in the platform. It's very much designed around the water measurement, and we have gadgets for pressure as well as consumption and flow. So you can display the dashboards as you see fit.
Keith, thank you.
Oh yeah.
Thank you very much. We can open up for questions.
No worries.
Hello, John.
Oh shit.
I've got a question for you. With oh, come on, brain function. With your devices and integrations, is it a fairly easy integration process to kind of work with utilities, or is it a process that takes a while to get the software set up and talking to the utility systems?
Pretty straightforward, just in that. So we work with 25 or 26 different water authorities, for example, in South Korea, and yes, so it's a reasonably straightforward process. Keith, you want to add to that?
Yeah, so we've got some APIs that are available for obtaining alerts and data and so on. We've got all those billing formats which can be scheduled so that they just export the billing data on a particular schedules and so on. So it just depends on the various systems that people are using. So there's some flexibility, and we found that a lot of different municipalities have different requirements, and then we can adjust as necessary to cater for other requirements. And then also from the device perspective, you know, we've got a network interface card that we sell, which allows us to read V100s and V200s and so on. We've been talking to the MIIT guys about integrating the Captus devices. There's a few people using Captus devices as well, and the meters that we have in Korea have got serial interfaces, so we're able to communicate with the meters and get you know, a lot of information from the water meters about whether the water's going backwards and forwards and so on, and their battery states and so on. But if we're with a V100 or V200, then it's just a pulse-based interface, and just depending on what other meters are integrated, then we will be able to either send commands to the meter to change their behavior or just receive data.
Thank you. It'd be great if you could also send through with the PowerPoint presentation the technical or data sheets for the different equipment that's required for your solution to run. That way we can see how much is required from us in terms of whether or not we have to add things to existing devices, or whether the communications just needs a chip or whatever it happens to be. That would be lovely.
Yeah, and we're running you know, cloud-based services as well as on-premises services. So we do both of those. So we run in AWS in Australia, and obviously all the data stays in Sydney. We also use on-premise servers in some of our Korean municipalities, and they also have something like they call the G Cloud, or the government approved cloud in Korea. So we run on their central cloud system as far as the servers go. So but yeah, we're happy to provide some additional technical information.
Anybody else got any other questions? That appears to be it. Got a shy crowd today.
Okay. Look, thank you.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thanks, Jacinta. Thanks for organizing. Thanks, Elisa. See you.
Thanks, and we'll send some. You know, Jacinta will have all our contact details. If anybody's got any other questions, then we'd be very happy to answer them.
Yeah, thanks. See you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Apologies everyone for running late.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. That's previous meeting minutes. Let me get them up. So, can I share the right screen, hopefully? So last meeting we had back in July, we had IOTA present to us on their platform on how they manage bits and pieces. And we also had the Menti survey, which very much appreciate everybody participating in. Might ask Kevin if he's still on the line for an update with how that's going later. And last meeting we also had mentioned the state of play report, which is getting very close to being finished. So Has anybody got any questions about what we've been over previously or anything they'd like to raise?
Just let everyone know, Jacinta, that if anyone wants to go back and watch that video, it's published on the Knowledge Hub as well. So I'll throw the link to that into the chat as well.
Lovely, thank you. Peter, were you going to say something?
No, was I?
No.
I was just making noises.
Okay. Thank you. To give you guys an update, we've had State of Play report is in its second draft, and it's still got a couple of few things to tidy up, but both the WASA and the IWN reports are coming along nicely. So we should hopefully have them early September-ish. So that'll be exciting. Also, I've had earlier in the year, we had Mark come talk to us from Snappy about the add-on to meters that basically uses camera technology and AI to read the meters and send a read every day. He's asked if we would like to be interested in piloting or the technology in a trial, which could potentially be free of cost, but in the process would need to put together a letter of support for Snappy to apply for a government grant to help fund the pilot. So is anybody interested in that?
Sorry, what does it do? It's an app that reads a meter with optical.
Snappy is a kind of an add-on device to the meters, which uses a camera that basically reads the dials on the face of the meter. Basically takes a picture and then uses AI to read the numbers in the photo and reports that back.
Sounds like using a sledgehammer to kill a blowfly. It's
so in terms of it just takes a photo every so often, so it's not like a lot of the logging and digital metering technologies. It's kind of a stopgap between digital metering and mechanical metering in terms of.
But there's much simpler ways. All the meters have a digital probe, and you just it's weird technology. Ventia uses a similar app because one of the things we do is we have a physical read and a digital read, obviously. So they have an app when they go out and check things. So we do a physical meter read and then check it with their mobile phone app. Take a photo of the meter and then it does the meter read for you. So this,
So,
down here in Taswater, I've actually been considering the use of Snappy, and I'll give you a bit of context on why. So we have a system that is coming to capacity constraints, and so it's particularly in summer. We actually have an irrigation scheme going through the same area in the next 2 years, and we've got some really big customers who have been enlarging their farms. So we actually need daily readings from these large irrigators, but only for a really short period of time. So it's only for 2 years max, and we nearly need daily reads just to make informed decisions about an operational perspective. So literally there's a handful of meters that we need to go down this way. So I had been contemplating something similar to Snappy, and Snappy did come up in conversation after their presentation. So I think if you're looking for someone who's looking to trial it, I think we do have a case study for it.
Fantastic.
And it sort of fits the market they're trying to look for. But again, we don't have too many applications of this, but this one does appear to tick that. So I think from our perspective, we'd like to trial it. We don't know if, I can't see us going forward doing it on bulk zone. So I guess I think that's an interesting business model they have, that it does fit some really specific user cases, but I struggle to see it being rolled out on mass scale.
Yeah, I think the point of Snappy is it is a stopgap measure. It's not, it's the convince the organization that it's worth getting this level of data type device, not we're going to use this on a permanent ongoing basis type device.
Is there any value either as well from a customer perspective, getting them used to that concept of digital meter reading as well. So there could be a, like you're saying, just into that stopgap way of thinking, but it also helps get customers across the line if they're not comfortable about the whole digital metering concept at this point. So is there value in that as well?
Possibly. Again, that's more of a kind of customer conversation to be had, and I don't know if we've got too many customer facing people on the call, so we tend to be more technology based people.
But we're also customers.
We are. So
well, I've just noted that down, Matt, so maybe we might come back to you and have a bit of a chat about how we can set that up.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to catch up offline on that one. Absolutely.
Yeah. Excellent.
Kevin's still online. That looks like he's had to go. So we'll catch up with Kevin later and get an update on where he and one who are at it, the putting together the oh, come on, brain function, installation best practice guide. Last meeting, we also spoke about lead times on meters and delays being roughly kind of 12 months-ish. Has anybody had any improvement on that in recent times, or is that still roughly what people are facing?
Improvement on what, sorry?
Lead times on getting digital meters or loggers type devices.
I've given up. I'm just waiting for the good news. And if China invades Taiwan, then it's all over. So we're not getting a fee.
Les, you've got a question?
I think probably just answered it because I've sort of had the question come to me from within DELP a few times to say, you know, what's happening with digital meters and potential delays, and so it sounds like that the 12-month time frame is sort of what's being experienced across the industry. I guess
He's been told in March, contractor order meters, and he's been told up to 70 weeks.
So, and to give you an idea, I put in an order for meters in July last year, and I've received a portion of that order, but there's still a portion of the order which hasn't yet arrived. So that, to give you an idea. So it's been 12 months since the order's been in, and I've just recently got a fair chunk of the order, but there's still a couple hundred meters outstanding from that order. So
yeah, so it is having a substantial impact on rollout across water corporations that are in the process of installing digital meters.
Yes, it's quite a big hold up.
Okay.
Did any of that, I can't remember if any of that came out or was reflected in the statistics from the state of play report. I'll have to go back and have a look at that to see how it was impacting on people.
Looking at the state of play report, people, I think, were still fairly optimistic about installing meters in a timely manner. I think it's probably not quite going to happen as people have responded. I think part of that was when the survey went out, it was still kind of people learning the delays. Now it's fairly well cemented within the industry that yes, suppliers have now fully admitted that there will be a fair delay in getting things compared to, it won't be too far off. So
have they
keep putting those positive vibes out there, people. Power of positive thought.
Yeah, forget my comment about Taiwan. But I think it's important. I think it's important that we also share this, because for us, it's going to be we need to explain this to the ESC because it all links to regulation. Customers actually paid for these meters and they're not getting them in this regulatory period. So it was, yeah, thanks to everybody who shared in the email, sharing their pain, because we need to do these. And you all probably have to do something similar if you're in the middle of a program and you're not spending your CapEx.
Yeah. And the issue with the meters is probably going to take a while to resolve because due to a whole host of global issues, from wars to earthquakes to factory fires to COVID to ships getting stuck across canals and
Water shortages, yeah.
dry climates and all sorts, there has been delays at different processes and different parts and different components for most things that go into creating a digital meter, which means there's been delays, but it also, the metering industry also competes with all the other electronic industries for these parts as well. And because meters need to be kept to a fairly low price point, it's more difficult for meter manufacturers to try and get a hold of parts in smaller batches or even sometimes bigger batches because they need to pay a lot more for what used to be an $8 part. They're now competing with others and it's being pushed up to $120 part or $800 part, which industries like car manufacturers, laptops, and those kind of high-end, expensive one-off type buy devices, it's easier for them to buy a part that costs more than for meters where they need to really try and keep the prices low to keep them affordable.
The big risk for the industry is not digital meters because they're nice to have. The big risk if a Tritium part fails and we can't get a new PLC controller or anything like that, then we're in real trouble.
Indeed. So there is more important things than digital meters.
Yeah. Can I jump in for a sec? Sorry, and because I wanted to introduce Steve Davey, who just joined us, and I forgot to invite him. So Steve is our new water meter coordinator or manager, one of those things. Maybe you can switch camera on, Steve, and say hi. So I'm very excited because we have 30,000 meters in the field and nobody's been managing them. So Steve's now helping us out. He's now working in the contact center or helping customers, so he'd be great. And he'll be joining this team as well. So you'll have some customer-facing people as well, or somebody with that experience.
I'll leave the camera off because I'm working from home and dressed accordingly today. But
yeah, good.
Yeah, nice to be here.
Welcome to the team.
Thank you.
So yes, any ideas, thoughts, queries, quandaries, or things you want to know, feel free to let us know. We're all here to talk digital metering, so
I'm sure I'll have some questions in the coming weeks and months ahead.
If you're new to digital metering, you've got a bit of a steep learning curve ahead of you, but that's all good.
Yeah, we're doing a brain dump in the next few weeks, so I'm handing over.
Lovely. Anybody else got anything they'd like to add? No. Oh, good then. Thank you everybody for your attendance today. Greatly appreciate it. And interim, if you've ever got any questions, queries or quandaries, feel free to get in contact and let us know.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Thanks all. Bye.
Are we all done, Jacinta?
I think we're all done from a meeting perspective. I'd just like to have a quick chat with you to talk about what to do next, if that's all good.
Yeah, that's good. Can I give you a call back in 2 minutes? I'm just on another call. Is that all right?
Can do.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll call you straight back. Bye.